Having a fantastic restaurant, delicious menu, and loyal customers is great. But if people can't find you online, you're leaving money on the table. So in today's digital world, your restaurant's website is the new front door. It's where potential customers decide whether to book a reservation, order takeout, or go somewhere else. Without a clean, modern website, you risk losing diners to competitors who show up first in search results and make it easy for people to engage with them. So today I'm going to walk you through how to create a restaurant website that draws people in, gives them exactly what they're looking for, and ultimately gets them through your doors. And stick around too, because I'll also share the #1 mistake that most restaurant owners make and how you can easily avoid it. Let's start by picking the right website platform to build your site. Now, while there are a ton of options out there, I always recommend Wix, especially for restaurants. It's simple to use, works beautifully on mobile, and has all the features that you'll need, like menus, reservations, online ordering, and even event booking. The drag and drop editor also makes it easy for anyone to create a stunning website with no coding required whatsoever. Now, I've been building websites for over a decade, and in all that time, Wix is consistently one of the top choices that I have for small businesses, especially in the food and hospitality space. Plus, it's totally free to try, so there's zero risk in getting started. So to begin, go ahead and click on the link right up here, or check out the link in the description. Give that a click, and then we will actually walk through this process step by step so you know exactly what to do. So go ahead and click that now and we'll get started. Okay, so assuming that you clicked on the link, you're gonna be brought to this page right here. What you wanna do is put in your email address and then go ahead and click on Start Now. And then you're gonna be brought to this page. So here you just need to put in your email address again, your password. You can also see on the right side, it says, hey, continue with Google or Facebook. And you can actually log in with that. I don't recommend that though, just because it's kind of awkward when you're doing some of this email stuff. You want to keep it to one place. So I highly recommend that you actually sign up with an email address. So go ahead and put your information in there, and then we'll click on sign up. And then you'll be brought to this page. So who are you creating your website for? For myself, my business, or a friend, go ahead and click on that option. Click on continue. And then we get to this page. So this is a chat with AI. And you may think, well, I want to set up without the chat, and I don't want to do. Yes, you do. You definitely do. And here's the reason. When you're using AI, you can actually tell it everything about your restaurant and your location, things like this. What it will actually do is it'll fill out a lot of the stuff on the website for you. So pre-fill it for you to make your life easier. And it'll also kind of like set up all the different modules that you need. Specifically with a restaurant website, there's a lot of different things, the menu, etc. It'll set a lot of that up for you so that when you actually start your website and you actually get into it, it's a lot easier. It has all the assets that you need. So we're gonna go ahead and click on Start Chat. Again, I highly recommend that you have this chat. I do not think that you should skip this. So go ahead and click on Start Chat and we'll go from there. So first, tell me what your site is all about, right? So I'm just going to put, I have a Mexican restaurant located in Chicago, Illinois, and I want to make a website for it with everything I need. This is not true, by the way. This is just for the tutorial. But, obviously this could be used. So go ahead and fill out whatever the information is relevant to you. Click Next. And then it asks for the name of your Mexican restaurant or whatever restaurant you have. So I'm going to go ahead and put a fake name here. And I put El Rano Taco. I don't know. My name's Ron. So something stupid, but we'll go with that. Obviously put your name in there. What are some specific dishes or specials that you would like to showcase on your website? So this is interesting. It's probably doing this to actually spotlight them on the different pages or somewhere on some of the pages. So we'll go ahead and put that in here. And I put, we are very proud of our fajitas, enchiladas, and our 5 taco platter meal. Just put your own. Then it asks, do you have any additional goals for your website? For example, would you like to incorporate online ordering for pickup or delivery? Definitely, I would recommend yes for sure on this, especially with today's climate and how many people actually do that stuff. So we're gonna say yeah. So I put yes, I'd love to include that functionality. So we'll go ahead and click next. And then can you tell me a unique selling point of your Mexican restaurant? So we'll go ahead and fill this out. And I put, I've been cooking in various restaurants for over 15 years, and every item on our menu is a family recipe passed down for generations with special ingredients you may not find anywhere else. Again, it's a lie, but put what makes you special for your restaurant. And then it says you are all set. You can go ahead and click on the Go to Dashboard button. I just want to point out one thing. On the right side here, it actually shows different things about your website as AI has understood it. So this should actually match up pretty well with what you're trying to do. So it's just kind of good to glance at, but let's go ahead and click on Go to Dashboard. And after you click on this, it's gonna take a minute. It's gonna do what it does. Just let it work its magic. And then, after a minute or two, we'll come back into it here. Okay, so once you have actually created it, you come into here. This is the CMS, or Content Management System. So this is essentially the back-end administrative portal that you will see that your visitors will not. And we'll go over this in a minute. There's different things to understand about it. We'll go through it briefly. But before we do, I know that you're interested in one thing. You're interested in really getting a website started, right? So let's go ahead and do that as quick as possible. So we want to go to the top right here and want to click on Design Site. And then we have this page. So how would you like to design your website? So generate a design with AI or customize a template. Now, earlier, I wanted you to talk to AI, right? I thought it was really important. Here, I actually recommend that you customize a template that's already pre-built. There's a reason for this. So I've tried, at this point, I've tried to generate a design with AI multiple times. I just don't like the outcome. I feel like they're very basic sites. They don't have a lot of functionality, not a lot of things that I really like. So I actually don't prefer to generate a design with AI. What I like to do is customize a template. Now you may be thinking like, oh, I don't want to use a template. Every other place is going to use a template, blah, blah, blah. But I have news for you. Most of the local businesses that are out there, especially restaurants, they are using templates. Now the thing about a template, it's basically the skeleton of the site, okay? So you can customize the colors, the images, the fonts, text, logo, all this stuff. You can customize it completely. That is just a much better way of building a site than having it built from scratch. If you want to spend a lot of money and take a lot of time, months and months, go ahead, build a website from scratch. Most restaurants, what they do is they will either build from a template or hire someone to build from a template and get their site up and running relatively quickly. And with a template, you can do that. So let's go ahead and click on Pick a Template here. And just to be clear, there's multiple templates to choose from. So we're gonna go ahead and choose one now. Okay, and you see here, so we're brought to this page. So this is Mexican restaurant, right? And then they're gonna have a bunch of different options. Now, they have Japanese restaurant, Mexican restaurant, which is exactly what we want, Asian restaurant, scroll down, barbecue, pizza, bar, Italian, pizza, Mexican. There's a lot of different options here, okay? Again, the thing to understand is that all that you're doing here is you are choosing something that looks pretty good, but by doing this, it's going to enable you to move a lot faster because the skeleton of the site is already there. So what I always recommend when we get to this step, I always say choose 3, you could choose up to 5, but choose 3 different templates that when you're scrolling, when you're looking at this, it really catches your eye, okay? So we're just gonna open up 3 of them for the sake of the tutorial here. And we're gonna go ahead and click on View on 3 of them. I'll hold down Control and press View so we can pull them all up. So that was one, here's another Mexican restaurant. And I really like this one, how it just says restaurant, but it says steakhouse really bold, and I like that. So we're gonna go to here. We want to close this out. Make sure it's not open on any of the others. It is not. Okay. So here it is. So this is a prime example of what the actual website could look like. Obviously, you'd adjust images, etc. But this gives you an idea of what this website has and what it does. Okay. This one, homepage, very simple. We have this navigation up here. We have the homepage where you can view the menu or make a reservation. Makes sense. It's very simple. There is the picture in the back, and that's it. Very simple. Calls to action right away. This one, a little bit different. So this is the navigation up here. It's muchachos. We have order online or see the menu, right? Best tacos in town. This kind of sells a little bit of what the restaurant is. See the menu here. Margaritas to mojitos. Playing this weekend. If you have different live music, this has a way of doing it. Hola amigos, tag us muchachos. So this is, also other images that are related. I'm not sure yet if these are pulled from social media or if this is something built in the back end. We'd have to check on that. But I assume once you click into these, yeah, you can actually see them. Yeah, it looks like this is Instagram, or it should be. So that makes sense. And then we go to here, stay in touch, locations and hours, contact, reserve a table. Okay, this one has a lot more information. Okay. And then we go to this one. So I don't, obviously we have a Mexican restaurant in this example. So steakhouse doesn't do it. But I do like the font. I like the big image. When we scroll down, the restaurant, okay, talks about the process a little bit and what it is. Make a reservation. I like that. Steak perfection takes time. Talking about the steak and why it's so good. Talking about the bar and a gallery. An email list. And then contact information and a location on a map. All these are actually pretty good. I don't know that I Really love one. I mean, this one is going to view menu or reservation right away. This, you know, and it also has the order online right here. Oh, I didn't realize that. You click on order online and you can actually order online, which is pretty cool. So this one, I like this one mainly because it's three things, right? It's view menu, reservation, order online. Do it. That's the call to action. That's what you need. That's what you need to bring in money, right? This one, I like it, but I feel like it's a little bit cluttered. There's just kind of too much information on the homepage. So I'm going to say no to this one. This one is good, but I don't know that this is kind of like a luxury steakhouse, it seems. And it really wouldn't fit the brand of kind of the Mexican restaurant that I'm thinking, right? Which would be kind of a smaller place. So yeah, we're going to say no to this one. Not that it's bad, just not the taste. So I'm going to go with this one because I like this. I also like that they have get 10% on your first app order start now. I think that's cool too. So we're going to go ahead and choose this one. So we're going to click on the top right here. We'll click on edit this site. And it'll take a second to set everything up, so let it do what it does. Okay, so this is officially up now. This is what it's going to look like. And depending on your theme that you choose or the template that you choose, it could look a little different, but this is the one that I have. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna click right here. We have 50%, we wanna make it to 100%. Now here's what I wanna show you before we even move forward. Technically, right now, we wanna get this website live as quick as possible, right? We're gonna click on publish, and then we're brought to this. We're gonna go ahead and click on view site. And voila. Technically, this website is available. This is the URL right up here, right? If you share this URL with anybody, they're going to be able to see it. And this is the site. The site is up. It also has right here, the site is designed by Wix, website builder, create your website today, start now. So here's the thing. So your website is technically up. You already got it up. It's ready to go, okay? But the thing to understand is that as of right now, it's obviously not perfect. We have to customize it. The other thing is we've got this little ad up here and frankly, a really ugly URL, and you'd want to make it your brand name like El Rano Taco, right? If that was you. So I just want to point something out, and I don't know when you're watching this, by the time you actually see this, if it'll still be the exact same, I'm not sure. But as of right now, one thing that is cool is they actually give you a coupon to upgrade. So to change the URL, to change and get rid of the Wix thing on the top, and probably to add, online ordering, you'll have to actually purchase a upgraded plan in Wix. So you can get started for free. You can edit it, design it for free, but you do have to upgrade to their premium plans for this functionality. But to be honest with you, it's really not a bad price when you compare to anything else out there. It's nice that they have the security built in and, the hosting, and there's a lot of different modules and things that they do to make it easy. So no pressure on it whatsoever, but they do have the upgrade that they give you for a limited time. So, if you're thinking about doing it, I would advise you to do it. I don't think that you're going to regret it, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, at this point in time, you technically have a website live. It's up. Congrats. But we have to customize it, right? So before we get into actual customization, what I want to do, I want to not back out entirely here, but I want to show you one thing. So I told you that I'd show you the CMS a minute ago, the content management system. And I just want you to understand this briefly because you need to understand the administrative portal when you're building your site. So you come to here, we have setup and home, self-explanatory. Getting paid. So this is if you're actually accepting payments online, you can set that up here. Booking calendar. So if you want to actually set up all the booking and reservations, which you probably do, you could do that directly. Sales. This is kind of cool. They have a gift card thing. So if you actually have orders, they have restaurant orders that people can make. So if they make those orders online there, but they also have gift cards here. So that's pretty cool to be able to have all that. Next is catalog. So this is where you can see your menu and store products if you're actually selling any product kind of on, consistently over time. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but you can set all that up here. And then we have table reservations. So this gets into the actual reservation portion of things. Yes, they have a custom build out for that on Wix, so it makes it really easy. Apps. So if there's ever something that you need that isn't on your site, you can add it really quickly. And this is a big deal because usually with the other website, you'd have to actually hire a designer to build things custom, blah, blah, blah. So the example I always give, if you wanted live chat, for instance, on your site, okay? And you wanted a live chat and the live chat doesn't exist. Here, you could just go into the app market, click a button, you have live chat. With another website from somewhere else, you may have to actually hire a developer to build it out, the modules, etc. So it gets a little bit expensive that way. This keeps you, it saves you money. Also, a little bit more advanced stuff down here. So site and mobile app, website SEO, logo and branding if you need help with that. Inbox, when people submit things, it'll show up in your inbox. You can also forward it to an email address outside of Wix, but there's the inbox there. Customers and leads. So this is nice if you have contact forms and things on your site. It just houses everything in one place. So it's nice if you ever have to look back and say, oh, who sent that message? You can always look back. Marketing, we won't get into it now, but this is all the marketing information. Analytics, if you want to know where people are going on your site when they arrive, this is a good way to look at that. And then also automation. So if you want to set up automations or have automations on your site, you do that. A little bit more advanced stuff, but you can. Settings, CMS, and developer tools, all advanced. Not going to talk about it now, but that functionality is available. Your homepage is where first impressions are made. You can think of it as a digital version of someone walking past your restaurant window. Keep it visually appealing, warm, and inviting. Use high-quality photos of your food, showcase your brand vibe, and immediately let people know what type of cuisine you serve. You also want to add a call to action like, book a table or order now or view menu so they know exactly what to do next. Okay, so let's talk about actually designing the homepage. Now this page is simple. I think that's a good thing. I don't necessarily think that you always want to have a super complicated homepage. I think that you need a picture of the food. And you really need the calls to action. Sometimes you could throw in, like an about section so that people kind of buy the story of the restaurant. But there's nothing wrong with just kind of excluding that as well. So here, we're just going to put this information. We've got all this. We've got this image here. And we may say like, hey, we have to change this image to our own food, right? Which I definitely recommend. So we'll click on change background right here, right? And we're going to choose image. And because I want to show you functionality, I'm going to show you functionality of the site. Okay, or functionality of the website builder. You would not want to do this for this image, but I do want to show you something that they have. So they have media for Wix, which is all free images. So we want to just put Mexican food. Let's see what comes up. All these different things, right? This actually looks familiar. This is the banner. All these different things. You can put any of these in here. They have chefs, plates, etc. So we could choose any of these. We could just say, hey, you know what? These fajitas are good looking, and we're just going to put them back there. You could do that, right? But here's what I want to show you. So we'll click on image again. So they have that. They have Shutterstock. So if you aren't finding your images on media from Wix or Unsplash, which are both free, then you can go into Shutterstock. So Shutterstock, what it is it's an integration, right? And we will put Mexican food. What this is this is other images that are frankly, good for what they are. But you can actually purchase them. So you can see here $3, depending on the image, it can get a little bit more pricey, but it really just depends on what you want, right? So those you can purchase if you need. Media from Wix and Unsplash does a good job. But again, you'd probably want to upload your own, which you just click upload media. Now this is where I show you the functionality. So I'm going to do AI image creator. I'm just going to show you what else Wix is capable of doing. Now these AI images, sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. But I just want to show you the functionality here. And you would never obviously do it for the homepage image. That just doesn't make sense, right? You really want to image of your own food. But I'm going to show you what could potentially happen if you are looking for, another type of image. So let me go ahead and type something in here. Okay, so I put a realistic image of a chef holding tacos and delivering them to customers at a restaurant. Let's say holding tacos on a plate. So go ahead and click on create image. And sometimes you have to click a few different times, but some of these images are actually pretty good. So let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so here's the first one. Looks a little fake, but not terrible, right? I'm going to do it one more time just to see what it can come up with. And there's another one, not bad, right? And just to be clear, you can regenerate these images over and over. But I'm just going to say for the sake of argument, let's say this is the one. So we're going to click on use image. It may not be, right? This may be a stupid image. It may be ugly. But in in this particular case, let's say that we want to change the background to that. You could see, well, you'd have to not resize, but change the actual position of this. The reality is I'd never want this particular image in the background anyway. But again, I just wanted to show you the functionality. So let's go back. Let's just do some tacos right here. I think this is a nice picture of some tacos and we should be all set there. Okay, so that would be that. We'd be all set there. And then this is, I believe it's in Spanish, which is kind of crazy because I don't think it was. But we'll just put, authentic Mexican food. Let's say that we're like, hey, this, right now, this kind of blends in the background with the image, and I don't really love that. So what we're going to do, we're going to change the color to straight up white, right? I think that's a lot better right there. And we could do a highlight behind it to really show, right? Like to really make it stick out like that. Don't really love the way that that looks, but we can obviously adjust this to our heart's content, whatever we think makes sense and whatever we think we want it to look like. We can adjust it, right? So I'm just going, let me get rid of the highlight completely here. There we go. So that, and then we can also do effects. Let's add a shadow. Well, let's just add a shadow onto it. There we go. I think that sticks out a little bit better. And also this text right here. Again, I'm actually not 100% sure why it changed to Spanish when I did it, but it's fine. You know, we've got all this and all this. Again, it's shocking to me that this all changed to Spanish. I'm not sure. So we'll just change all these. I think that's Spanish. I'm not even 100% sure, to be honest. Okay, so we've got it all back to where it is. That was just a weird thing. So Madre, authentic Mexican food, view menu and reservations. Okay, order online. They can click on that. I mean, here we get into the footer. So here's something to understand. So what you really want to do, right? We've already edited kind of the homepage. This was an easy one. This is an easy homepage to edit. What you really want to do with any website, the thing to understand is that the header, which is the part up here with the navigation, and the footer, which is the part down here, that is on every single page of the website typically, okay? So when you are looking at adjusting a website, I know I jumped right into that image right there. Should have done that. I should have actually done this first. What you want to do is you want to look at the header and the footer and make sure that they're good. That's the biggest thing, right? So let's look at the footer first because I know it's easier, okay? 2035, powered and secured by Wix. We don't really need that last part there, so we'll get rid of this. And then we've got the phone number, address, things like that. We can obviously adjust this whatever we want. And one thing I just want to make it clear. So if you are like, okay, yeah, I want to take this, but I don't like the position. Well, we could just click and drag it. This may seem simple. You may think this is not a big deal, this click and drag. It actually is, okay? This is a big deal. When you're able to just click and drag, you're able to design the way that you want it, very, very customized. With a regular website, you have to use padding and all these different things in HTML and change code. That's a big difference for Wix, okay? The other thing is if you're like, you know, okay, well, let's bring this back over. Let's decide, you know, that's not good. We do want it. We're going to click into here. We're going to add the text. Let's actually make it size 20. I just think it would look better at 20. And let's center align it. So there you go. That, again, is really easy to do, right? And you can also, I mean, you can do anything here. You can change all the text, etc. Whatever you want to adjust, you can. Again, that's a big deal. It makes things easy. Here we can see we've got a social bar. You want to set the social links, right? And actually adjust the social links. And it should be worth saying too, you can do layout, you can do vertical, horizontal if you want to. Or if you're like, you know what, that's an ugly social bar. I don't really like that one. We just click right up here into add elements. We look for social. And we could change it to any of these. So we could say, you know what, let's click and drag this one over. I'd rather have this one over here. There you go, right? And you'd have to obviously adjust the size, etc. Make sure it fit within. Which would be easy, right? We would just, let's go to set social links. So let's say Instagram, Facebook, we're not going to do Twitter, we're not going to do LinkedIn, not going to do YouTube, Pinterest. Okay, we'll say that we'll do Pinterest. So you would just take them, click them, drag them over, let go, right? Get rid of this other one, delete, which is really simple. You just click delete, that's it. And then we would take this one and put it in its place, okay? So that is something that makes it a lot easier and you can adjust a lot better in the way that you do it. Let's also take this and probably center it. I'd say that probably makes it look better. There we go. So the footer's taken care of. This middle part we already talked about is taken care of. Now we got to focus on the navigation and the top part. So in the header, the biggest thing again is the navigation. So let's look at this navigation and see what we disagree with, right? Okay, so looking at this, we've got the home, which is hidden. We don't really need home because when people click on your logo on the top left, they can see it anyway. So we don't really need home. We've got menu, which is good. We've got about or our story, which pretty much is the same thing. So that's totally fine. We'll leave that. We've got order online, which I definitely think makes sense to keep. We've also got catering, and then we've got contact and reservations. we could actually combine order online with reservations if we wanted to, but just to show you all the different things, I'll actually keep them separate here. And then we've also got, contact and reservations. We've got shop, which we definitely don't need shop in the top part. And then book online, I believe, let me see, the book online. Yeah, that's not really going to be relevant here. So we'll hide that from the menu. Let's click it. We can click into each of these to actually see what it is. Okay, so they have a booking, contact and reservations, and the contact page all in one, right? And then we've got catering. If you want to have catering up top, again, we'll leave that. Order online, this is big. So if you actually want people to be able to order directly online, yeah, they can do all that. Okay, so we'll leave it at this. I'm going to change, well, I guess we're going to change this to reservations. Because you probably don't want contact and reservation, right? You just want reservations. And this reservations, this can just be, oh, hold on, let me look. Yeah, okay. So they have reservations here, and then they have reservations here. Let's go with this one because it's basically prettier. We can totally do that, and it just looks a lot nicer. So we'll leave that one. This other one we just don't show. And then we can also, we can always, on the bottom here, we can throw in a link to the contact page if you really want to. But I think this is good because it really has all the information that they need. And frankly, they can always call you if they need to because you're probably on Google, etc. So this is going to be a good menu up top, which is the biggest thing. We don't really need the cart icon, checkout, login bar because we want to offer reservations, etc. We probably want to leave that. But that would be good. We also have here, this is the icon to like the logo to the whole restaurant, right? Leave that up there. If you want to change it, obviously you would just go in, you could add elements, you could add an image and just upload an image of your actual logo, right? Do that. Get 10% off on your first app order, start now. It's not really a bad idea to have that. If you want to change this to something else, get free tacos when you wear a costume. I have no idea, but I'm going to leave it up there. So you could change that whatever you want. It'd be that easy just to click and do that. So we're going to leave that as is. And we're going to say, yeah, we're good on the navigation here. We're good on the home page, which we already went over. And we are good on the footer. So we're going to go ahead. You could just save. Or for now, get a free Wix.com domain, just click save. Or if you already upgraded, you can connect with your own brand there. We'll do that. And then I'm also going to click on publish just so I can see it on the live site as well. Okay, so your site is published and now live. So we now have the whole site, right? It is up. The homepage is taken care of. The header's good. The footer's good. So now we need to move on to the next page. The menu page is one of the most visited pages on your restaurant site, so make it count. Make sure that your menu is easy to read on both desktop and mobile. Also break it down into categories like appetizers, mains, desserts, drinks, etc., and include mouth-watering descriptions with prices. Also, bonus tip, you can add photos of your signature dishes to kind of, get their appetite going before they even order. Okay, so the menu page. So let's go ahead and go up here and click on menu, right? And we will actually go into the menu page. Now it's pretty self-explanatory, the menu page, right? They make it pretty easy. You can click on manage menus, and this is where the CMS, the content management system on the back end, comes into play. So they actually have it where you can manage and edit menus, at different times. So in other words, if you have like a breakfast, lunch, and then a dinner menu, you can have those two different menus, and you can actually adjust them on the site if you want to. And just adjust that as it needs to be. So we're going to click on add or edit menu items here, just so you can see. So this is how the menu actually works. And you can see you have appetizers, entrees, desserts, right? If we want to do all that. If you ever want to edit anything, we're going to click into the edit here. You can put all this information, the item, the description, labels if you need them, pricing, and then an actual image if you want to do an image, which online, that makes sense. Maybe not at the restaurant, but online I think it makes sense. Modifiers. If there's anything that, different options like topping, sides, extras, etc., they can do all that here. And then ordering, if they actually want to, do it, you can even have tax settings in here, which is pretty easy to do. But you can even say it's in stock, out of stock, accept special requests if people have them, etc., and just adjust that. So Wix makes it really easy. They have their own custom online ordering, system kind of built in to the whole platform here. And you can click at any time to just, we'll not add new menu item. We're going to add, let me see here. Well, we could duplicate. Yeah, we don't really need to do that. Let's just click, let's click to add one. So add new menu, right? Dinner menu, right? Go ahead and click save. And when you actually click to make a menu, after I click save here, hold on, add your first menu section. We add different sections. Basically what we just did a minute ago, right? You would add the different sections for each, for this menu itself. And this is just good if you want to test different menus and show them online, and then obviously you got to show them or put them in your restaurant too. But it's a great way, right, to add all these different things quickly and easily. And then you can just, on the menu pages, you could just swap out the menus if you need to. It just makes it really easy if you or if you're trying things out as a chef or, as a restaurant owner, you want to try different things. It makes it really easy to actually do all that. But it's nice in that, you go into here and you could just see all the menus, all the different items that you have as well. So you could just add all the different items. You could see the price, any labels to them. So if you want to do like gluten-free, things like that, you can do all that on there just in the back end so that people can see it really easily. If you have, so I mentioned this earlier, if you want to offer products, this is not the menu. What this is, takeaways, things like that. If you want to offer different products, like if you just want to say, hey, if you just want to walk in and there's some pre-made vegetarian tacos, it'd be $5 and in stock. So you can do that too with different store products if you want to do that. And then I mentioned earlier, gift cards. So I won't get into this here, but you can basically make it so that selling gift cards is really, really easy on the site as well. May require a whole different link, whole different page, but if you add it to the site, they make it really easy to do that. So just again, the back end of Wix will handle the menu stuff. And you can see here, actually, I didn't even realize this. They have the Mexican specialties, and then this would be the dinner menu that I had created. I didn't fill anything out, but it's all on the same page. And I believe that you can actually adjust this image with the menu as well. So yeah, overall, that's how the menu section works. It makes it really easy, and you can just adjust it on the fly if need be. Now, the About page is next, and people love stories, especially when they're deciding where to eat. So use this page to tell yours. Share how the restaurant started, your culinary inspiration, your passion for hospitality, and the heart behind your menu. If you're family owned or farm to table, or have a chef with a cool background, highlight that here as well. It really helps build trust and connection with potential customers. Next is the About page. So on this one, it's going to be our story. That's basically how the template came about. Rich culinary heritage. So there's images here, savor the freshness, authentic Mexican flavors, which is good, especially crafted for you. And big surprise, a order now button there, which is great. You definitely want an order now button. You want to make it easy for people to get your food. And just, there might be, I'd say here, like we could probably add a little bit more about the chef and different things like that. So if you're thinking like, well, that's cool and all, but what can we add, more? Okay. So what we can do, let's click on add elements, right? We go to, add section, which is right here. And we want to do, let's say team. So this would be a section where we would bring it down. I'd put it after the call to action to order now, because that's the most important thing. Our team, right? And you notice that it all fits the font of the actual template that you're using, which is cool. You could talk about the team. You could have here, obviously it's not Ashley Jones, art director, right? You could have the chef here, sous chefs, anybody else that's working head of house, things like that. You can have all of them here and put all that in one place and obviously change this, but very simple to do. You just double click on the text and adjust it as needed, right? Really easy to do. So I would say we'd probably want to do that. I think this is pretty good, telling the story. I would probably say we could expand on telling the story a little bit here. Definitely this section. We'd want to expand on why it was created, everything about it, right? You really want people to get that personal connection and tell them things that are unique. For instance, with a Mexican restaurant, if you worked in the finest Mexican restaurants in Mexico for 15 years cooking, you may want to mention that in here, right? You just want people to make that personal connection. But the About page, very simple. Again, this one, I would definitely add a about like our team like this. I just think it's good to make that connection. But overall, I mean, I think it's a good looking page. You just want to adjust a few things. And always you want to have a call to action here as well, which I like that. I think that's smart to do. Let's click on preview. I just think it's smart to do because when someone comes here, they click on order now. Okay, well that obviously isn't set up the right way, but they click on order now, they can actually go and order directly on your site, which makes it easy for you to make, get more items sent out. So overall good page, few adjustments, but I like it. So next we have the reservations or online order page. And this is a must-have in today's world. So whether you're offering dine-in, takeout, or delivery, make it simple for customers to act. Now you can use Wix's built-in tools or connect with platforms like OpenTable or ToastTab for smooth online reservations and ordering. Make the process as effortless as possible. That's the most important thing. Next are the online order and reservation, pages. Now, this particular site, the way that the template's built, it's basically 2 different pages. Totally fine. However it works, if you can do it on the same page, great. If not, 2 different pages, it's fine. Whatever the template gives you that you choose, they'll all probably be built similar to this. So let's go with this. So if somebody clicks on, order online, let's start there. They're going to click order online and they can go pick up or delivery, right? They can put in their address. And then they can actually choose the exact items that they want, right? So let's say that they choose one of those and they choose the taco platter, one of those, okay? They'll click on view cart and here is where they can do it and they can check out. And yes, you can actually accept payments on your Wix site. Now you will have to update to one of the premium plans, but again, it's very affordable. This is nice because you can actually connect payment methods. And I don't know about the fees exactly, but I do know that it's cheaper than some of the options out there. So it can actually save you some money in the process. Again, you'll have to review other options out there and everything, but it's very affordable, the processing fees, et cetera, to actually do that. So it's really cool that Wix offers this. It just makes it really easy. Now, in terms of editing this, so let's go back to the editor. So I'm going to kind of show you the order online here. Okay, order online. So there's not really a ton to actually adjust here because when you want to edit this, you can click manage menus. It's from the menu that you created earlier. So it all derives from the menu. So everything you see here is from the menu. You can also click on order settings. And if you want to adjust any order settings, you can do that too. And just make it clear, everything. If you want to do tips, tax, all that stuff, order management, all this information is right here within. And it makes it really, really easy to actually manage all this. Now, I won't dive into all this right now, but just know that Wix has everything covered. That's the thing that you need to understand. They have everything covered. They've thought it through very clearly. And everything that you really need to make that happen can be, right on your site directly. You don't have to integrate with all these third parties, et cetera. So that is the online ordering. That they've made it really, really simple to do. Let's go over the reservations as well, because I think that's important. So we click on this. We'll go to reservations here. People can choose. Okay, 2 guests. This is the date. That's great. 6:45. That's today. So let's go with, let's see if we can do tomorrow. Oh, let's do Wednesday at 8 a.m. for Mexican food. It's a little bit weird. Let's say 1:30 p.m. Let's click on book now. Again, this right now is contact us directly by phone. On the reservations not currently available. It's because we don't have the upgraded version. If we have the upgraded version, we would be able to actually set that all up. So let me look. I think that there's a way. Let me look here. I would rather show you the online reservation because it's a pretty impressive little portal here. Let me go to here. We're going to go to manage menu. Let's go to book online. I think this would be the page. Okay, this is kind of the page. I'm going to show you, okay? This is how you could do it, right? So this is our services. Ignore the top part. Ignore this part. We're going to click on book now. This is how you could make it, right? Where people can actually select the different reservations that are available and they can click in and they can actually select the times. Now you have to pay for the plan in order to do that. And you have to actually set this up. But this is really nice because it'll allow the people, basically like ToastTab or the others, where they can go in, they can choose a time and it'll block out that time on the calendar. It sets it all up for you perfectly, right? That's the beauty of the reservation system. Now, this example didn't work great because it's not all connected in the right way. And you can obviously adjust it to make it that way. But it's super cool that it does this because it can take a lot of the work of somebody answering the phones and booking those reservations, it takes it off their plate. That's the biggest thing. So yes, you'd have to set this up. It'd take a little bit of time to set this up, but it's really simple. I mean, you just saw, I mean, I just clicked in. It's already set up mostly. You just have to adjust a few things on it on the back end. But that's really how reservations can work as well, which is really nice. Or if you don't want to use this and you're like, oh, I want to use Toast Tab or whatever, all the different things out there, you can change it. You can definitely change it to whatever you want. And those third-party integration that they have, it's really easy. You basically, you know, I don't even think that you have to go to the Wix store. You can basically just use code from those other platforms and put them on your site, copy, paste, really simple to do. So that is the reservations area. That's how it should focus once you've adjusted it and kind of tweaked it. That's how you can make it work. It really just depends on what you want. But it's nice that they make it so easy to do that. So that really covers both the order online section and the reservation. If you can combine them into one, great. You know, if the theme itself doesn't allow that, you could do this too, whatever works for you. And next is the contact page. So make it easy for people to find you and reach you. Your contact page should include your address, your hours of operation, phone number, and an email. If you're active on Instagram or Facebook or other social media, include those links as well. And you can also embed a contact form if customers want to ask a quick question or, you know, look into booking a private event. Next, we're going to go to the contact page. So on this particular one, it's on the reservation page because if you recall earlier, I adjusted it. So it has here, right, this is the location, right? You can just adjust this to whatever you want. Obviously, you know, you can make it bigger or smaller, whatever you want to do. I don't know that I'd make it that big, but I'd probably make it a little bit bigger. Just so people can clearly see it, maybe something like that. And then the other thing is, this is the actual location. So if we actually go to here, right, click on Manage Locations, you just put in your one location, and you can do multiple if you have multiple restaurants, by the way. But you just put in the address and then the title, and it'll actually show them on a map exactly where you are located. Okay, that's a good way to do it. Really simple way to do it. What we can also do in this case, because we don't really have a contact form. Now you could say, oh, well, they can call, you know, and if you want to handle the calls, that's fine. But if you don't want to handle calls and you want people to have the ability to submit something online, you can very easily do that. We'll go to here, we'll go to Contact and Forms. We're going to create a new form, okay? Now, creating forms, very simple to do in Wix. Not always simple to do overall, but very simple here. So we're going to put first name, last name, email, phone. It's probably what we want. And then long answer, right? And long answer will change, how can we help you? Okay, that's it. We already have a form set up. We're going to go ahead and close that out. We saved it, and then we're going to close it out. And then what we want to do is we want to go ahead and add an element. We want to do a form, add an existing form. We're going to click. Okay, I don't know what this, we don't need that thing. We've got a form here. So maybe we just do that right there. There it is. So now they've got book a table, and then they've also got a contact form. Or maybe, you know, I could see the argument to say, hey, I don't really want that on the same side. Maybe we just do this, and we can just click and drag this over to this side, whatever you want to do, right? The point is you can have a contact form, and it's really simple to do. They just put their information, they click submit. Once they click submit, it's either going to go into, well, it's going to go into the back end of Wix in the contact section, but you could forward the message to an email address, like a Gmail, something like that. You could do that, whatever you want to do. The contact form, it really just depends on if you want it, right? You may want people to call the restaurant. It's up to you. But the point is, it's very simple to actually create the contact form and get it launched and just get it all set up right there. Next is the events or specials page. So if you host, you know, live music or offer happy hours or catering events, this is a great place to really showcase that. Use this page to promote upcoming happenings and entice people to visit again. It also keeps your site, you know, fresh and gives regulars a reason to really keep checking back. And lastly, we want to talk about the events or specials page. Now, so the navigation, we think that it's not actually ready yet. I actually forgot something. So what we need to do, we need to add a events or specials page. So we're going to click on Manage Menu. We're going to click on Add Page. Okay, here we want to add a page that really focuses on, you know, the different events that you're having or things like that, right? So we could choose all the different things that we can do here, right? Like any option. I would say for this, probably a general page would be good. right? And you could probably just put something like this, right? It just makes sense. We'll click on add page. And what we can do is we can actually label this and then just put all the different things that are happening so that they see it. So this would be the page title. I'm going to say we're going to focus more on events like live music, things like that. You could just adjust this as needed, right? And just click into the content, adjust it as needed, go to here, adjust the title. You can adjust all that for different events. If you wanted to do actual specials, right? We don't really need this click here. We don't need to go anywhere else. So for this section, what we would do, we could basically just go to here, expand it, probably put the images, right? So just add an image of whatever your special is. So like if this was one of them, we would add this, and we'll just bring this down a little bit further. And then we would add different text, right? Whatever text we think makes sense, probably this one right here. And we could just talk about special, I don't know, pie or whatever the thing is, right? And put information to it. And then just have the specials, adjust this to say specials, whatever you want to do, right? The point is with Wix, they make it really easy, and you can use your mind, your thoughts to say, you know what, I want to have a specials page and an events page. I want to do it this way, this way. It allows you to do all that customization. You can do it yourself. So you don't have to deal with, going back and forth with the web developer, web designer, which can take a lot of time. I'm telling you from experience, it can take a lot of time. So it's just easier to do it yourself. If you're interested in doing that with Wix, you can do it. So, you can adjust this however you want. You can make it look however you want, as pretty as you want. It's all up to you and your own creativity. Congrats, you have made it. If you just followed everything in this tutorial, you now have your very own restaurant website. And while there will always be, tweaks and improvements over time, you've built a solid foundation that you can proudly share with the world. This website, it gives you the exposure that you need to really succeed online. Oh, and remember that big mistake that most restaurant owners make when they're building their site that I mentioned in the beginning? Well, spoiler, it's actually not about the website at all. So the number one mistake that most restaurant owners make is not using email marketing effectively. So most owners think that, once someone, checks out the site, they'll place an order or make a reservation immediately. But that's rarely the case. Email marketing, it lets you stay connected with your diners. You can collect emails through your site by offering a discount on a first order, or promoting your loyalty program, or even sharing a newsletter with upcoming specials and events. From there, automated follow-ups and regular updates can keep your restaurant top of mind, and those things will bring people back through the door. Now for this, I recommend using Brevo. It integrates seamlessly with Wix and makes setting up automated email sequences super simple. And you can find the link for that right up here, or in the description if you're interested. Go ahead and click there. It's absolutely free to try, but I highly recommend it. Your restaurant's website isn't just another marketing tool. It's a key part of your success. It tells your story, gets people excited about your food, and makes it easy for them to connect with you. So if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you've got any questions whatsoever, drop them in the comments below. I'm here to help you build a site that gets more reservations, more orders, and more happy customers. Thanks so much for watching.